Assalamu alaikum. In this video, we are going to talk about clinical biochemistry and the type of tests that are involved in the clinical biochemistry panels. So let's begin with this. First, we have is the definition of clinical biochemistry. It is the analysis of blood plasma or serum for a variety of substrates, enzymes, hormones, etc., and their use in diagnosis and monitoring of the disease. So basically, what you have is you have a sample. That sample can be of blood, plasma, or serum, or you have any other like body fluids that can also be used as a sample to measure these tests, like urine, ascitic fluid, that is basically fluid of the edema of the abdomen, ascites, or CSF fluid. You take these fluids and you send these fluids to the lab, and in the lab basically the different panel tests are being run to measure different substrates, enzymes, hormones, or other factors that are present in that sample. So that's what clinical biochemistry is. Next, we have the type of tests in the biochemistry. This is very general classification or like division you can have is that there are different types of tests that are included in liver. We will see their detail in the next slide, but then in the sub category we have specifically coagulation tests that are related to blood. Then we have is kidney testing, or like all those enzymes or factors that tell kidneys functioning normally or not. Then muscles, then ions, electrolytes, then lipids, then pancreas, then endocrine tests. So all of these organs are being judged by specific substrates that are being measured by in the samples. So let's see their detail. First, start with liver. In liver, we have three types of tests. First ones are functional tests. So these are called LFTs, liver functional tests. In this, we measure total protein, albumin, ammonia, bile acids, bilirubins, cholesterol, and then we have coagulation tests too. Although coagulation tests are normally being measured separately, but they are also being like they also tell whether the liver is functioning normally or not. So these things will tell whether liver is okay or not. There are second type of tests in the liver that are called injury or like hepatocellular leakage enzymes. These all enzymes you can see over here. These enzymes are cytosolic enzymes. We will see their detail in later lectures when we will see the liver test specifically. But basically, this is a liver cell, you can see. So these enzymes you see over here, all of these enzymes are basically present in this cytosol of this liver cell. But when any injury happens and liver cell membranes get broken, so these enzymes will come out of the site. So the enzymes that are present inside the liver cell, these all enzymes are present inside the liver cell. With injury, the membrane of the liver cell is broken and the enzymes will leak out. When these enzymes leak out, they will go in the blood vessel and their level in the blood gets increased. So you take a blood sample and you measure these enzymes and their level is being increased. So it detects hepatocellular leakage. That will tell you that the hepatocytes are being damaged. There is an injury. So and then we have third category, cholestasis. There are two enzymes. If their level is increased, you can just like tell this animal is having cholestasis issue. So these two enzymes tell cholestasis, and not only that, they also are gonna be raised with corticosteroid or any steroid or any drug administration. Like these if that animal is pre medicated or specifically if corticosteroids are being present, either endogenous steroids or exogenous, but they are also going to be increased in this situation too. And you should remember that because it is a very common case that appears in the like biochemistry test when you are observing those blood reports. So, and then bilirubin is also changed with cholestasis, total and indirect bilirubin, direct bilirubin. That these tests are of liver, then we have is kidney. In kidney we only have functional tests. So you see in liver you have three types of tests: functional tests, and these are non-functional tests, which are basically hepatocellular leakage tests mainly. But in kidney you only have is functional tests. There in this panel we measure BUN, blood urea nitrogen, creatinine, SDMA. We will see their detail when we will see RFTs, but right now I'm just mentioning their names. When you want to detect muscle injury, you can see these four enzymes. Specifically, CK and AST are very sensitive to muscle. Their level will be like highly increased. But as far as ALT or like these are concerned, they are also like gonna be raised with liver. But these two enzymes specifically tell you muscle injuries. Then, in order to see pancreatic functions, we have MLAs, lipase, or TLI. These are being measured. They also tell us energy metabolism is going right or wrong or not. And for that, we can measure carbohydrates like glucose or fructosamine in the blood. And they not only tell this, but also they detect many of the endocrine issues like diabetes mellitus. It's being like judged by glucose and fructosamine. How they are being judged, we will see that detail when we will study these tests. Then lipids, in order to detect their metabolism is right or wrong, cholesterol, triglyceride, non-esterified fatty acids, or beta hydroxybutyric acid, these factors are being measured. Then protein metabolism is being judged by total protein, albumin, globulin, and albumin globulin ratio. These are very important. Then blood flow shunting is also being judged by bile acids or ammonia levels in the blood. Then we have is electrolytes, sodium, potassium, or chloride ions. In order to measure the acid-base balances, you can measure the bicarbonates, anion gaps. For minerals, you can see calcium, phosphorus, or magnesium levels. Then we have iron metabolism, like we can do these tests too, like iron concentration in the blood, or total iron binding capacity, IBC, or percentage saturation of the transferrin. Then we have these two tests, which are basically to measure any drug or any toxin level in the body. If you are measuring any drug and you want to know that it has either reached the blood, it is either distributed to blood or not, you can do therapeutic monitoring of that drug. For example, phenobarbital. Sorry guys, the internet is being disconnected. Um, so wherever we that so in order to measure any drug level, it's like therapeutic monitoring, and we measure any toxin level in the body. We basically are measuring toxin exposure like ethylene glycol. Sorry guys, the internet is disconnected again. Basically, if you are measuring any drug, it's called therapeutic monitoring. If you are measuring any toxin, so it's toxin exposure that are in the blood. I have left one thing over here, the endocrine test, which I will tell you in a later slide. So, up till now, you have seen in this slide that there are so many tests. So, if an animal comes to your clinic, how you are going to decide that which test should be measured, because you can't say to the owner that okay, let's go with each and every test, because these are costly and not a single owner is gonna agree with that fact, okay, let's do each and every test, and even not all are necessary in each and every scenario. So how to decide which tests to be measured and how these panels are being made. So, what we have in veterinary medicine is that we have basic test panel in which there are these 6 7 tests. We go for them initially, and these tests basically will tell you maximum of the issues, like they will detect most of the issues, or like most of the diseases are being going to be detected by these. So it's include total protein, albumin, globulin, urea, creatinine, ALT, and ALP. But with like you can do some modifications in these tests, like if you see the yellow color in plasma, you can also go for bilirubin. Like you can change these. You can have this more panel modified as per species or condition too. Like if you have more like for example, to have more appropriate liver enzymes for horses and animals, you can exchange ALT or ALP for like GDH or GGT, because they are more specific for large animals. But as far as pets are concerned or other animals, these two are more are like sensitive. But if you have like large animals, you can go for these enzymes. Similarly, for athletic animals that have like muscle injuries or muscle issues, you can also add creatinine kinase or AST, these two enzymes, because they will detect the muscle injury more in a more better way. Then we have some additional tests that are added based on the conditions that are present in that animal. For example, if the owner complains in the history that the animal is having polydipsia, so for such animal, you can add calcium, because calcium is can recognize hyperthyroidism or hypercalcemia, all those conditions or renal insufficiencies that cause polydipsia. You can also go for glucose testing, because it can indicate, because polydipsia is a clinical sign of diabetes mellitus. So if glucose increased, you can detect diabetes mellitus. Also hyperadrenocorticism, these enzymes can be detected by like, because even in hyperadrenocorticism you can have like glucose increase. So cholesterol can also be added with a patient with polydipsia, because it will tell you that this patient either has Cushing pattern or not. Again, then there are renal failure is also already covered with by basic panel, so you know need not to detect that. But you can see along with basic panel, if you need to increase these three tests, because they also cover all those conditions that are being left by basic panel test. Similarly, um, if you have a collapsing animal, along with basic panel test, you can go for calcium to screen hypocalcemia, because if an animal is hypocalcemic, the animal will start to collapse. क्योंकि उसके बाद कैल्शियम इज बेसिकली नेसेसरी फॉर लाइक मसल कॉन्ट्रैक्शन, तो उसके मसल्स जो हैं वो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट सही नहीं करेंगे. सो यू हैव टू चेक द कैल्शियम लेवल. सो नेक्स्ट थिंग यू कैन डिटेक्ट इज ग्लूकोज फॉर collapsing animal, because hypoglycemia causes coma, because energy is not in the body, so the brain will shut down. Then you can detect sodium or potassium level to screen again hyperadrenocorticism or hypokalemia, because these also conditions cause animal to like collapse or like die. Then we have some tests that are called as point of care tests. What is point of care test? These are basically the tests that are performed by any tool that comes in handy for the healthcare professionals to perform various biochemical tests, like in a clinical setting, and it provides quick results within minutes. For example, we all have seen one thing in our lives for sure, like glucose machine that is present even in I guess that's even present in each and every house. You can just prick the finger, get the blood on that strip, and you get immediately result in the 10 seconds. So point of care tests are those tests for which some tool is present and you can measure it within minutes. So these all tests are easy to measure: the blood protein, albumin, urea, glucose, ketone, triglyceride, bilirubin, C-reactive proteins, cardiac troponins, iron, fructosamine, or non-esterified fatty acids. These all are easily measured. Then we have another panel test for pancreatic diseases, in which we have serum amylase or lipase activities are being detected by serum trypsin-like, immunoreactive concentration, TLI concentration. Then we have is PLI concentration, pancreatic lipase immunoreactivity. We will see these tests in detail when we will see the pancreatic panel test, but right now I'm just mentioning the names. Then we have the test that detect EPI, that is exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, a very common disease that comes in the pet animals. So serum TLI concentration, PLI or fecal canine elastase concentration. These tests can easily tell you whether the pancreas are functioning normally or not. Then we have tests for endocrine diseases: urea protein creatinine ratio, urea cortisol creatinine ratio, ACTH stimulation test, low dose dexamethasone stimulation, high dose dexamethasone stimulation, glucose or fructose ketones, or non-esterified fatty acids, beta hydroxybutyric acid. So these are all those tests that are like divided in different panels. So first we saw the types of tests that are included, and then we see that how these tests are being like recommended to animal, how we will decide which test to be given to particular animal, or which tests are being checked, or which parameters or factors should be checked in which type of an animal. So I hope you have understood that. Still, if you have any query, you can comment, you can reach out, we will surely answer you guys. So that was all about clinical biochemistry and the type of test. In the next lecture, we are going to start our liver test, liver functional test, hepatocellular enzymatic test. I hope you guys are enjoying these series. So guys, do subscribe, like, and share. Thank you so much.